we tell our guys all the time, especially the seniors every year, like day one of practice, we always tell them don't have any regrets because
it's the best advice you can give.
It's gone in no time.
Welcome to the FocalFlip Podcast. Every week we take a deep dive into the mystery and stigma behind mental health and explore real-life stories of struggle and triumph. We aim to educate and encourage others as we bring together a diverse group of guests. From the streets to sanctuaries, classrooms to boardrooms, mental health does not discriminate, neither do we. Prepare to laugh, prepare to cry, prepare to be changed. Let's get into it. Everybody, welcome back to the FocalFlip Podcast. It's Mike, your host. And today I've got Michael Hester and Brian Ball of Walton-Verona. Fellas, what's up?
How you doing, Bub? Glad to be on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Glad you all came on, man.
Absolutely.
Really am. So I'll give you a little rundown on these guys. So Mike, reason I brought Mike on, Mike went to my alma mater, played basketball at Simon Kenton High School. Great player, great point guard. Brought a different little style to the game, a little bit of an edge, a little bit of flair to the game. That was a little different at the time. What year did you graduate?
07.
So 2007. I graduated in 2003, and it was fun to come back and watch you guys. It was like you and Josh Elbert, and Josh Hurd, and it was a lot of fun watching you guys. I had no idea that you were going to be interested in coaching. I just knew you were around the game a lot, and you played collegially too, didn't you?
I did. So
for a year or two.
I went to Union for 2, and then came back to Northern and played 2 years at Northern.
Yeah, it's just that's why I'm like, okay, here you are. Then you get into coaching at Simon Kenton, okay, and you're coaching underneath Trent Steiner. Now you're the head coach out at Walton-Verona, and since I've stepped away, I've been pretty neutral in watching the games. It's been fun to watch you guys. Like to see your philosophy, your demeanor, how you lead your program now. Like I saw you as an assistant coach, I saw you as a player, but then you getting to take the helm at Walton-Verona seemed like it was your time to go. It was your time to launch. I don't know. What's that been like for you, Mike?
So when I obviously, going to Simon, graduating from Simon, coaching with being coached by Steiner, and then coaching with him, I always thought that's where I wanted to be. I didn't want to go anywhere else. Didn't want to do anything else. But I just felt it was time. I wanted to see if I could really do this or if I couldn't. And then an opportunity opened up, at Walton-Verona, and with my wife being out there, my kids going to school there, I just felt it was a great opportunity for me.
Sure.
So obviously, Coach Steiner, who's been like a dad to me my whole life, well, not my whole life, since 2003, he helped me kind of, set me up to get me in position to, apply for the job and interview for the job. And, cool. I was fortunate enough to be selected. And, it's been the greatest 6 years that I could have ever asked for to start my career.
6 years, though. 6 years as head coach now. That's
crazy.
Awesome, man.
It's crazy.
That's cool.
Flown by.
And I'll have more questions kind of about that dynamic and that upbringing. Introduce us to your sidekick here, Brian Ball.
So this is Coach Ball.
So you hold on real quick. You take the job 6 years ago as a head coach. Mm-hmm. Okay. Did you take him right away?
So he was already a middle school coach in the program at Walton when I came over. And as soon as I got the job, he contacted me, wanted to talk. And me and him had a talk, and it was just me and you.
Yeah. Well, I think we talked on the phone.
No, we met in the office.
We?
Yeah, we met in the office, and he was just giving me the rundown on, everything about the program, and he had so much knowledge of, from the bottom to the top of how, what players and how everything had been, and just gave me so much information. And then I knew from then, like, I had to have this guy with me. There was no way I could, do this without having him with me. And he's been with us ever since.
That's so cool.
And I honestly don't know if we would have the program we had if he wasn't, with us.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we're very fortunate to have him.
That's great.
Yeah, and he's been a great piece.
I love it. Yeah. So tell me, all right, I got to know about you a lot more. So, number one, how did you know all this stuff about all the program?
Well, I'm a Simon King guy. Graduated in 91. Unfortunately, I quit playing basketball while I was there. I was a big basketball guy, and my path went another way. But basketball was always the thing. Well, like I told you earlier, I got out in '91, started family and living out in Pioneer, and I ended up taking over that Pioneer Booster program. So I'm out there working the hustle, falling in love with coaching, and my son goes to Simon Kenton, 2 years behind Mike. So through my son, I got to see and kind of know Mike without knowing him. I knew the Mike Hester kid, and I seen him run around, and I loved the way he played. I just
kind of the way we all did. So you found out about him.
Yeah, he was, so cocky, so good,
swag.
And the swag was out.
Too much.
So anyway, I started. Trent Steiner got me started coaching. Got me hooked up with Charlie Hawkins and over in the middle school program at Summitview. But this whole time, my son was going to Walton-Verona. So I was kind of, back and forth. Well, I ended up, after 15 years, gave up the Pioneer Booster job. Well, Trent come to me and asked me to help him start the Little Pioneers. Oh, so I spent a year or two doing that. So I'm coaching middle school, doing Little Pioneers, and then finally I transitioned and left the Simon Kenton stuff and went to Walton, and I was out there coaching for a few years in their intramural program or the NCKC stuff, and then I got on at the middle school, and that's where I got it. And I know Mike since he started there, come out to live with Guy Ponzer, and not personally. I mean, I met him a few times, changed a few tires.
He did do that for us.
But I kind of knew of him, and around Trent, like when I was helping Trent run the Little Pioneers, Mike was he was reffing, and I just loved to be around him. I mean, the kid was just cracking you up. I mean, he's so Mike.
Yeah, dude, he is.
But
what is it about?
Let me chime in on the tire situation. So we're seniors in high school. Me, Josh Hurd, Josh Elbert, Seth Blevins. We had just got done reffing over at the Armory, like a TQL thing. And we're going to Hurd's house. He lives over in what's that? Heartland. And we get a flat tire. I hit a sewer. We get a flat tire. So all four of us had no idea how to change a tire. Zero clue. So we're all outside the car, looking at the car.
Who was in the car? Hold on.
Me, Josh Elbert, Josh Hurd, and Seth Blevins. And we're all on our cell phones, like calling people to say, what do? We don't know what we're doing. And Brian ends up, he lived over in Heartland. He comes driving down. And at the time, like I knew who Brian was, but not a great relationship like I do now with him. And pulls over, fixes our tire, we go on our way. So
you're a good egg, Brian.
I just cracked up that 4 high school kids couldn't change a tire. And there's no YouTube back then or nothing.
God, surprised Josh didn't.
So we were just looking at this tire, like what are we supposed to do here? If it wasn't for him, I don't know what would have happened.
Awesome.
We're driving. I got my family in a little like station wagon, Ford Focus thing, and we're coming in, and I'm like, look at these. It's 4 kids just sitting there looking at a tire like it's going to change itself. And I got my whole family in there, and I'm like, should I stop? And my wife's like, yeah, ask them if they're okay. I said, hey, y'all need a hand? They're like, how to change a tire?
It's 4 dudes. It's 4 athletes. I'd take those 4 in a 4-on-4 game on a lot of people, bro. They couldn't change a tire.
No, we couldn't.
I love you, though.
We couldn't do that.
It's all good, man.
We couldn't do that.
That's fair.
So
the hero came along, saved the day.
Yeah.
So that's how it takes the relationship back a little bit, huh?
And to build on that, like that's what he does for our program. Like
I was going to ask the next thing what he did.
Anything, it doesn't matter what it is. He finds a way to fix it. He finds a way to take care of it. And when I said I don't know where our program would be if he wasn't there because he's such an important piece, it's the truth. I mean, he's built. You should walk in our storage room. He's built this huge. I don't even know how to explain it, but he has every kid has their name with their shooting shirt, their jerseys, their everything goes on there for the games. So they go in the games in the storage, they get on their hook, all their stuff's on there. I mean, just
So you do it all.
anything you need him to do, he finds a way to do.
Whatever he needs done, but yeah.
So okay. Boy, this will be a loaded question. Man, jack of all trades coaches.
He is. That he is.
Sheesh.
He wears many hats.
What's the most important hat you wear? For Mike. Not for the team, but for Mike.
Man, I don't know. I don't know how much basketball I contribute to there, but Mike, he knows he can call me anytime, and no matter what it is, a simple task or, hey, go up here and let these people in or whatever, he knows it's just a phone call, and that's all he has to ask.
That's cool.
And you were a coach too, and you understand that you want guys around that you can trust and guys that you love. And everybody on my staff, I know that I can trust them. I know that anything I need, anything a kid in my program needs, that they're going to be there.
That's
they're
amazing.
a phone call away.
That's amazing.
So I'm very fortunate with the staff that I have.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's a rare breed of people
It is.
to do this kind of job.
Because it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's hard to have a full-time job if you're not a teacher, which he's not. He's not at the school. So he gets off at 3:00, flies over to practice. He's at practice. Somebody calls him and wants to get shots up because he lives right behind school. He's up there opening the door
That's
for somebody
awesome.
to get shots up.
That makes it so nice.
And I can't
Wow.
be on here and not talk about Nick Ayers, who
The whole coaching staff.
yeah,
I'm lucky to be part of a great. I mean, I can't imagine. I've never been on any other coaching staff, but I can't imagine one being as good as what we got.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just I sit back sometimes and just amazed. The coaches, even the coaches that have come and gone, they're not there no more. It's like everybody, there's a piece, and everybody just fits in, and everybody gets along, and everybody going for the same goal. And I don't think he has a lot of yes man that are just going to say, "Oh yeah, Mike, we agree," because there's some heated conversations happen. But
Absolutely.
I think that's what
they're
he
necessary.
Yes,
sometimes,
absolutely.
man.
They are.
Yeah.
They are.
That's how you change perspectives. That's how
Right.
you know if you're going to grow and adapt.
Yep.
Yeah. But
And they're hard sometimes.
They are.
talking with Mike, that first conversation we had, like I said, I knew Mike forever. I watched him in high school. I went down to watch him play at Union. I rode down with his mom and his grandma just on a random weeknight just to go watch him play, and but we had that conversation when he got the job, and I flat told him, we talked, and everything was pretty just general. I was coming because I came from Simon or the big area and come to Walton, and people think different over Walton. The All A is important. It's a smaller, smaller school thing, but it's funny because Walton now is like SK when I went there, because SK wasn't as big. But me and Mike had that conversation, and once everything was done, I said, "Well, listen," I said, "Dude, you're the best person for the job." I said, "I ain't just telling you that." I said, "Because you're cocky enough to come to Walton-Verona and think you can compete with anybody in the state with what Walton-Verona has."
I love that.
And then he does it. He comes out. We beat Evangel that one year when they were so.
I've seen what y'all have done.
And then
since you took
Highlands
over.
the year after they won state. I mean, he's just so fire and competitive. He's amazing. It's amazing.
That's really cool. I appreciate you sharing that, Brian. Really, and that's what I've known with him too. Because I'll tell you right now, when he was coaching and y'all had Smithers and them, at Ryle at the time, it was like we had this wave of players and stuff coming through, but the way that you guys shot, and just we tried to like prep and practice and scheme so hard for how we were going to try to drive you guys off the 3-point line, how we were going to defend handoffs, all this stuff, and you could see it, you could feel it when you took over. Like there was a vibe. There's going to be a little bit of a change to it. Nothing against Brandon or anybody before that, because they're all great coaches. Walton-Verona has a great program.
Amazing coach.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
amazing. But
Amazing
you
coach.
kind of like what Brian was saying, the way that you played back in the day was just that swag. You didn't bend over for anybody. Period.
Yeah, no.
It didn't matter.
Might have got me in trouble sometimes.
It did get you in trouble. But you know what? We from Independence, we wanted to see that. Like, seriously. Like, it is what it is. That's the edge. That's the game. That's what happens on the hardwood when the whistle blows the first time, when the horn goes off the end. You know? So, like, I noticed that. And then, like, with some of the talent that you'd have, even the growth in the players that you would have within the program year over year. Like, you could see it. You know, as a spectator, I saw it, you know, and so kudos to you guys for that. So, yeah, man, you explaining it like that was really cool because I was able to relate and say, yeah, that is exactly how that came to be. And that's the way that it came across
like
to all of us as spectators.
Pieces fell into place perfect for Walton because they ended up with him. And at the time, I don't think there's anybody around that could have been a better fit. You know, and there may be some people disagree, but there always is. But Mike is, that's just, you know, Mike's he, you know, he's a Walton, and he thinks he's at, you know, who's Scott County, you know. I mean, back when
because Walton-Verona can be Scott County.
Well, he thinks he can beat anybody.
Hey.
I know your process. I know your thought process.
It's a process. If we can get there, we're gonna get there. I mean it.
And you can.
And when I was at Simon, Steiner always, and we're gonna play whoever. Like, I don't care who they are. They can be number 1, number 2, number 3. I don't care if we play number 1 in the state and then number 2 on the next night. Like, we're not gonna shy away from anybody. And I kind of took that from him, and when I went over to Walton-Verona, it was my first year. My schedule was not the schedule that I would have wanted.
Yeah.
And then after that, I mean, I'm always reaching out to just play. I don't. If we get beat, that's okay.
Yeah, you play everybody, don't you?
We're gonna learn from it. It's okay. I tell people all the time, I don't care about my win-loss record. I don't. I just want to make sure we're prepared at the end of the year to give ourselves the best chance to win a district, to win a region, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
So,
gosh,
just been that way.
Excellent job explaining that, fellas. Then this leads me to a great next question. You leave Trent, and dude, Trent, I've probably given Trent a couple of different shout outs, but big shout out. He knows I love him.
Yeah.
What is it like going and head coaching against your coach in the same district? I got to know what that's like mentally, emotionally, just strategically. I'm fascinated by that. I don't think people have really had an opportunity to ask a coach like that.
Because, I mean, honestly, the relationship I have with Steiner, and it isn't what it has been in the past, but we still try to, you know, talk all the time or talk once in a while, whatnot. But he was like a dad to me. I mean, he really was. From my freshman year, beyond that. I mean, me and Josh Hurd were ushers in his wedding in 2007 or 8, whatever the year that was. Yeah. So he's done a lot for me in my life. So that first year, I can sit there and tell people and would say when, you know, they'd call and say, hey, we're doing an article on you guys playing Simon. And I could sit there and say, like, it's another game. It's another game. That first year, it wasn't another game. That first year was hell. Like that, I wanted to beat him. Like it was tough. Emotionally, it was tough.
Natural, man. That's a natural who you are as a competitor.
But now it is just another game. Now it is.
Yeah.
But that first year, it really was tough. It really was.
I wondered that.
It was tough. Just because, and Coach Bach done so much for
Dude,
me.
I know. Jason's amazing.
Just both of them had done so much for me in my life, and we still golf all the time. I shouldn't say all the time because I don't think we golfed one time last year. But them two have just done so much for me in my life that I wouldn't be where I'm at right now if it wasn't for them.
Yeah.
Because my freshman year, had it not been for Steiner, I probably would have went back to Holmes after my freshman year. So, and he knows that. But it's just that first year was tough. But now it's.
Yeah, I bet. It was weird for me when I first started. I coached at Ryle just to help David McFarland. And when I went up against Simon, I was only coaching JV, but I was fired up.
Yeah.
Just the dog in me was like, I wanted to prove myself. I wanted to validate myself, you know?
And that's how that first year was with me. Like I wanted to show Steiner I can do this.
You can do it.
I can do this. Like
That's so cool.
Like I can do this.
Yeah.
But yeah. Like
I always
now,
wondered, man. I appreciate you sharing it too, because
Absolutely.
like, you know, they're always the conversations on my show aren't always necessarily comfortable, but I'm always like, I want to ask the questions that nobody ever they ask.
Yeah.
Like that's what I want to know, because there's a lot that goes into competitor, especially one like you, where it can boil over, man.
It does.
Like it's just we love it that much. You
So
know?
much.
It
Like,
is. It's like an obsession.
Steiner used to always say, and I'm gonna reference him so much just because. You
Well,
know,
yeah, that's the relationship.
Correct. But you know, when you're young, and he'd say, I don't know if Humphrey, or I'm sure Humphrey probably did, but you know, he'd say, I go home and I lose sleep at night because practice was so bad today, or you know, whatever. Or I'm watching this and watching that, and it's like, come on, you're not going home and do it. Well, when you get on the other side, it's facts. That's what you do. I come home and it's if we lose, I'm going to McDonald's and get me something to just
Comfort food.
please me, and then I'm going home to watch film. And it's just it's tradition. Like that's just. And if we win, I go home and I just don't eat. I don't go get me any bad food. I stay away from the fast food, but I go home and watch film. It's just that nothing's changing.
It's
man.
funny.
Yeah, it is.
It's like an
It
obsession,
is.
because
It
you want to
is.
know whenever you see gaps in games or anywhere, you always want to know where you can get better.
Absolutely.
And so that's where I was able to find so much success in things now. Is like I always kept asking why.
Yeah.
If something didn't work, find out why.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now what can we do as a group to collectively try and fix that? Can we fix it in the short term? What's it look like in the long term? You know, it's all those different things that people don't understand. They don't really
No.
all that. That's what, like, when I talk to coaches after games, like, because now that I don't really coach, I just coach people. Like, we just call them decompressing stuff after games, you know? And that's just what it is. Like, I remember whoever I was coaching with, it was just checking out film. I had to learn how to watch film correctly. Just to be, I know the game so well. But when it came to coaching, I had to be taught how to do that stuff.
Yeah, because
I know the game so well with my mind too, and I could tell you and give you a scouting report. I couldn't transfer it onto paper.
correct. Or transfer it to the kids, because not all kids are gonna learn it the same way.
Nope.
Some kids
All
are gonna.
different.
Some kids they need it on paper. Some kids need you to go out. We need to do a walkthrough
Physically
just so
do it.
they can see it, and that's hard too. Like you got to adjust to that and be able to give it to these kids in multiple angles, whether it's on paper, whether it's on film, whether it's live.
You got to give it to them.
Yes.
You can't sit there and point fingers anywhere if they're not getting something done.
Yep.
And you're not the one.
And he gonna fix none.
Yeah, because you have to adapt. These coaches have to adapt every player individually while moving towards a collective goal.
Correct.
And that's not easy.
No, it's not.
But it is fun when
It's
you
not.
constantly ask why, and you're just like, all right. And then I watch all you guys playing in games and just like, I'll ask questions and be like, man, I wonder what that game was like. You know, I feel like part of me wishes I still coached, and I'm just like, I want to be a part of that conversation after the game.
Yeah.
I want to be in the coach's office for that one.
There could be some good ones.
Yes.
There could be some good ones.
That's
The
awesome.
highest of highs and lowest of lows.
Dude, it's a fact. So, well, let's get into, first, before we get into the next part, would you guys mind coming back on future episodes?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Anytime.
That'd be
Absolutely.
awesome. That changes kind of the way I'm going with the rest of the episode, because these guys have practice tonight. One of the things that I love that they do, we'll go over that at some other point, but they have practice tonight, so I kind of want to segue into some more stuff around this team. Sometimes our conversations don't even get going towards the teams and the players, but I like your team this year.
I do too.
On paper.
I do too.
And I've gotten to catch games early summer, I think was when I really watched some. Aaron is a great player. How do you pronounce his last name? Is it Gutman?
Gutman.
Gutman. Is it
Yep.
It's Gutman.
Gutman.
Okay.
Yep.
He's really good, man.
special.
He's
He's special.
Oh,
He
he's
really
real
is.
deal.
He's a
what's it
gym
like
rat.
coaching that?
Best player I've ever coached.
Oh, really?
Absolutely.
Dude, what
Absolutely.
a way to go out on that.
Absolutely. And he's just extreme competitor. Gym rat. Loves to be in the gym. you can tell, like when college coaches, they ask you about kids, and coaches are always, oh, he's a gym rat. He is a legit gym rat.
Oh, he's one of the real ones.
Yes, like if he like the other night, he was 7 of 13 from the line, I think it was, at Bell County yesterday.
Yeah.
Or 7 of 16, I can't remember exact. And I promise you, today he'll be shooting free throws after practice. He's my peer tutor in one of my classes. He'll make sure that once he's done with class, he'll go straight to the gym because he has his college classes after my class. He'll go straight to the gym because he's done it 1 o'clock. He'll go to the gym and he'll shoot until practice at 3 o'clock. Like he's just a special player. He's a special kid.
That's awesome.
And me and him have had conversations before where I'm just like, you remind me so much of myself. Just the way he's got that I hate to use the word cockiness.
He
but
has an edge.
He has that, and he wants it. He wants it. Like he wants it, and he wants it bad. Like I mean, there's every day, me and him, when he comes in, all he wants to do is talk basketball. That's it.
Oh, God, coach's dream.
Yes, that's all he wants to do.
Hey, we love that.
That's all he wants to do. And he's
That's cool.
he's got a younger brother who's in our program who starts as well, Adam. And he is like, he's just so hard on him because
Is he playing dad?
yes,
Playing dad coach?
And we had the conversation the other
Parent
day.
coach.
We had the conversation the other day where I had to tell him, I'm going to be the one to be on him. I need you to be, his good cop. Like, I need you to pump him up.
Yeah.
You can get on him and hold him accountable, but you also got to let him know that you're big bro and you're there for him too.
Yeah.
But
That's
he's
cool.
just,
God,
I mean,
cool
he's a special player, man. I'm very fortunate and to be able to get a kid like that, because there's times where, I mean, coaches dream of having kids like that, man. I mean, we really, and I may never have another kid like him.
Yeah. See, it's
may never
rare.
happen. So
It changes. It's not a knock to any of the other players. It changes everything when it comes to from a coach's perspective.
Yeah.
When you have a player like that.
Yeah.
There's so many things that feed from it too.
Mm-hmm.
Are they player led?
Yeah.
Not yet.
We're starting to get there. Aaron does it, but
I was going to say he sounds like he does. That's why I was wondering, are they?
We have guys that want to lead. We're trying to figure out the vocal part of it right now.
Yeah, that's a normal thing.
The positive vocal part of it. Because we like I said, Aaron, when it comes to his brother, he's hard on his brother, and he wants the best out of his brother.
Win.
Correct. He wants to win. He wants the best out of his brother, just like we do.
Yep.
But we're trying to get him to be the positive, figure that he needs. And at Bell County yesterday, he yelled at Adam, and I went over to him, and I was like, "What do we talk about?" And he was like, "I know."
Okay. Give him that little reminder,
He's like,
man.
I know.
That's what we as players need, though.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to have that redirect sometimes.
yeah.
And that's you're going to create that good balance there for them too. You as well, with coaching, because it brings them to a level of awareness. Like, for example, in my household, my oldest is my daughter. She parents my youngest. He's only a year younger.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, it's just a natural thing that they want to
awesome.
do that. So sometimes with her, I have to kind of like say, "Hey, I'll parent."
What did you do to get her to do that? Because I need my daughter to do that for my son a little bit.
If you want it or not. Go ask Corbin that question and see if he likes it. Yeah. No, I've had to be like, let him just chill for a second. I'll take care of him. And Corbin looks at me like, thank God. Thank you. So I know I get it. So, and those are the things that people don't know about as coaches that you have to kind of do. You got to hone these in and have this. It's an art form.
Yeah, it really is.
It becomes an art form, So who are the compliments to the big guy on this
So
squad?
we have.
Congrats on the win over Bell. That was a solid win.
It was. And
and
like
the
we
win over
talked,
North.
the North one was obviously winning the opening night is always huge, and then last night was big for us just because we needed that. Like we didn't play to the ability that we wanted to on Thursday and the way we wanted to, but we responded like I told you earlier. We responded better than I would have ever thought. We have a great group of kids that are just inexperienced right now. They have the talent, and we tell them every day, we got the talent, we just got to get, the reps and the experience. And, but like I said, we have Adam, his brother, Aiden Kearns, who is a big for us. He's 6'4", 6'5". He does everything for us.
Golly, y'all are long.
Long as we've been.
Yeah, we in my first 5 years, if you take Aaron out of the mix, Julian Dixon was always our biggest player at 6'3".
Wow.
So we've never been fortunate to have
point.
size. And this year we have Aiden at 6'4", 6'5".
Because you came after Deontay.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that group was huge.
Yeah, Grubb's kid too.
I mean, they ran that 1-3-1, and it was miserable. Like you talked about having a pregame or scout for somebody, scouting them was awful. They were so big and so long everywhere. We're not obviously as big and as long as they are, but we do have some size.
That's big.
And it's
You're in a
just
small court. It's not the same size court, but smaller gym.
it was always, we wanted to, in years past, we're always fighting a rebounding battle. Like, we're getting out rebounding on the offensive glass, defensive glass. Now it's like our first 3 games, we're plus on both offense and defensive rebounding. In all 3 games, we're plus. And it's never been that way.
This is amazing.
Yes. So it's been nice. But like I said, we have Aiden who's 6'5". We have a guy, Deuce Shearer, who's 6'1", 6'2". We got guys we bring off the bench. John Strunk, 6'4", 6'5".
Jesus.
But we just have size that we've never had. And then we got a bunch of guys that can just flat out play. I feel like, I mean, they may not fit in a lot of other systems, but they fit perfectly in our system. And it's a process early on because we're so inexperienced, but I can't wait to see.
Yeah, that's cool.
What
end result.
What they're capable of doing.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch.
Oh,
I can't wait to watch you guys throughout the whole year. It's gonna be a blast. It really is.
Yeah,
because that is one thing with you guys. You're a system program person.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely don't change it. I know that. I mean, you've
6 years we've been the same.
I know.
We've been the same.
That's the thing. You can know whatever you got to do is you got to beat it.
It's been the same. It's been the same, and we've had obviously success with it. So it's just who I am and the way I love to see basketball played.
Yeah, I appreciate it too, man. It is. It's like we were having some passionate conversations earlier, kind of talking about just life stuff, and I'm gonna have them back on to kind of talk a little further into it. But I can tell you guys care. That's what I want. That's what our young people need. It's unfortunate, but I have seen coaches that do it for the wrong reason. I've seen the stepping stone type things where it's not authentic. And I think that's just what makes it different about Northern Kentucky hoops up here is usually whatever school you're at, you're giving all of it to them.
Yeah.
I mean,
Northern Kentucky has great coaches all around. I mean, you just go down the line.
Smart coaches.
Everywhere. It is great coaches. Young coaches. Great young coaches. Great, veteran coaches. You just had Tim Sullivan in here. I mean,
Sully was on.
I would love to, have the resume that he has and what he's done and what he's done with kids and the way he motivates kids and gets them to play the way they do. Like, I would love to one day, have somebody say that about me because we have so many great coaches in the area. Like I said, young and the veteran coaches.
Yeah, man.
Northern Kentucky is very fortunate. They
are. I love it. I enjoy every bit of it. So we'll get ready to wrap up here. You do a good job of it, Mike. I know you don't want the props and stuff, but you're doing a good job of that.
I appreciate that.
I admire Sully. He's on my Mount Rushmore. And I see a lot of what you guys do in Walton and kind of mimicking the culture type thing that like Cooper has established over 17 seasons.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And that's cool because you're right at that 6-year mark too. Mm-hmm. So you've had your wave, your first 4 come through, and now that's awesome. That's going to be really fun.
Which last year, and when we talk, how I talk about the inexperience, when I came, 5-6 years ago, 2019, 2020, that group that we had was in the 8th grade. And I moved all of them up, and they just graduated last year. So that was hard to see those guys go.
That was a 5-year cycle.
Yes, and it was hard to see those guys go. And we had so many talks in the summer of like, what is it going to be not having those guys around? And
practice feels different because you don't see those guys there. It's like
you wait for them to come through the door, like Landon, Max, Jules, they're coming, Zach, they're coming through that door eventually. And it's not. And we tell our guys all the time, especially the seniors every year, like the day one of practice, we always tell them don't have any regrets, because
it's the best advice you can give.
It's gone in no time. Like
it's the truth.
It's here and it's gone. And like we're already 3 games into the season. Already 3 games into the season. I feel like we just started day 1 of practice and we're 3 games in. So we always tell them, and it's just don't have any regrets. Make sure, every time you step on the floor, you left knowing, if this is the last time you're going to play, you gave it everything you had. So
preach, man. Preach. Anything you guys want to end on so I can get you on to practice on time?
Appreciate what you're doing, man.
I appreciate it.
Special human being, man. You really are. Special human being. That talk we had earlier really hit home. And like I said, you're going to come into my building, into my classroom, and you're going to speak to my kids because they need it, man.
Thank you. I really do appreciate that. I feel the same about you guys. I really do. I really do. I wouldn't have invited you on. Dude, I've got the gear on. So all you Walton-Verona players, Walton-Verona fans, I'm rocking this. And it's dope.
Let's go. Let's go.
They always have Mike has got great taste.
Yes.
So Walton-Verona will always have sick gear, dude.
Always,
I love it. And he hooked me up with this, Mike. Thank you guys for
absolutely.
this.
BSN loves him. Shout out.
So yeah, BSN. Shout out Mazzaro.
Hey, that's my guy. Brett is my guy.
All right. That's cool. Well, I love you guys. I wish you nothing but the best. Gotta keep doing what you're doing.
Same with you.
It's
Same
amazing.
with you.
So all right, guys, tap the bell, like, swipe, whatever the stuff is, 40-year-old saying 20-year-old stuff. So I don't know how all those things work. Just subscribe to stuff or whatever it takes to share, comment.
Absolutely.
Right, add it to your story. Just help us destigmatize this thing, man. We just don't want anybody to sit here and play victims. Own your stuff. See what you can do with it. You'll find out. It's all you.
Yes.
The whole time. Lean in on people like these people. Follow the coaches. I'm telling you, you're going to find success. With that, love y'all. We're out.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
See you guys.
Appreciate you.
Okay, you ready to wrap this thing up?
If you like FocalFlip's videos, my dad's videos, go to YouTube, Spotify, and Apple, and like and subscribe to be updated.
I love it.